All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the PGL. And it's not like you really went anywhere. How could you in the middle of Group B? It has been insane match after insane match. Dahang, Rafa, Agent, Wenger. We've got Rafa into tomorrow, but Agent and Dahang is still up in the air, and I'm sure they're both going to be with all these rockets and rails. And to help take us through that, we've got Flea here as well as Zoot.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Happy to be here again.
Yeah, totally. You guys were watching the previous matches out there, eyes glued to the set, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Shane, I'd take a 20% cut in that. Motivating.
You were getting a little bit of flack for your predictions earlier. So how are you feeling?
I feel decent. Rafa was playing incredibly well. He definitely a deserved victor there. I know I've dug my own grave with my own predictions, but I'm glad he's there. He's playing way better than yesterday, in my opinion. So. Yeah, all the power to him.
How have your predictions been going, Flea? I know yesterday you were like on point.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, I think the only one that I didn't see coming is CNZ. I think he is definitely the black horse so far. The fact that he made it to the final 16, I think that's something that many people didn't expect, especially since he went up against Sparty and knocked him out. So
wow,
that's so far my biggest miss prediction. So
well, again, as much as I am the perennial favorite of both Rafa and Dahang, the way Agent was playing in that last matchup really raised my eyebrow.
I was nervous because, in Blood Run, Rafa already talked about how he's very great defensively and he can make that style of play work. However, every time he bought himself an advantage, he would go incredibly passive. He would play himself off of the map, and he no longer had any items to fall back on. And the map geometries that he was on don't favor the style that he was playing. Rafa was just able to push him, get in front of his face with a 175 stack and say, hey, map's mine.
All right, well, of course, we're focused on Group B at the moment. We've got some games from Group A going simultaneously. We're saving C and D for later because who would want to miss those? Let's take a brief look at those. And, of course, Group B, if you've been sticking around, there's no real surprises here just because we've been watching them all.
The elephant in the room, though, is Wenger. I mean, he goes 0 for 2. He lost to Agent at the beginning. He lost in 2-0 fashion, but it was 3-2, 3-2, incredibly close games. It looked like he was going to take the second map, but Agent hit some incredibly clutch shots, no pun intended, onto Wenger's clutch because Ranger and BJ were both banned during that series. And Wenger got a bit more of a spanking against Dahang 3-0, 3-1. But I really feel it's a great experience with Wenger, but I think he came to the event feeling he had to play a special way or a certain way, and it didn't look like himself at all. He was incredibly reserved, defensive, slow in his play, when normally he's got some kind of X factor going on. He's got incredible mechanics, and he's able to push people around and do fantastic things, but it didn't look like he wanted to do that just due to respecting his opponents too much.
Yeah, I mean, he's 19 years old. He's got those reflexes still. He's still young and fresh and active, so he can do some amazing things, but as Zoot said, he was definitely too passive at times, and he gave Dahang too much respect. So,
and it means that we're going to be looking at Agent and Dahang up next. But, of course, there have been some games going on in Group A as well, as we can expect. And that, of course, has been a very deathly group as well. Claus currently up 1-0, Cooler 1-0. Dewey's out.
Yeah.
Okay.
No surprises there.
But he went 3 maps against Cooler, right? That is a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Cooler won 2-1. It was very close in the end.
And, of course, the big question mark is going to be Base there in the lower bracket. We have to see if we can scrape back in.
Dewey played actually really well in his games. I don't really cut him much slack, but he played.
You don't. You are mean to him.
He did play incredibly well. So I'm impressed with the performance. He obviously is going to have wanted a lot more than that. And I know Base during his game with Dewey, the knockout one, there was a lot of shouting going on. Both with happiness and anger, I think. But yeah, Base was incredibly vocal and fun to watch at that point. However, Cooler and Claus is going to be a phenomenal match. I believe we're going to get that a little later on.
I believe so, yeah. It's going to be fantastic stuff. Like, you don't really get to see that matchup happen too often, especially on LAN, which is really the most fantastic thing about this entire event. We've got everybody under one roof, and we're about to, make that roof a little bit tighter. We're going from 16 players down to 8 today. And again, like we mentioned, we've got Agent and Dahang on standby. But a little bit earlier, they strutted their stuff a little bit and gave us some voguing. Let's check it out. Agent terrifies me. Those eyes are, they're scary.
He's a scary guy, that's sure.
And he was absolutely terrifying on Blood Run. Again, we were talking about this earlier. Like, Blood Run is also a favorite map of Dahang's.
Yeah, definitely true. But, I mean, Agent, he just excels at it. You saw it against Rafa. That Nyx, oh, so deadly.
He made Rafa frustrated. You don't see that very often.
Rafa was just getting mad at the super shotgun several times because Agent just crept up on him with that weapon and then 120 damage just like that, over and done. Really good plays by Agent. And, of course, he uses the tri-bolt well. And that's so important on a map like Blood Run, because he's got those perfect angles and the perfect range to do a lot of damage with the weapon.
It's things like that where I see somebody executing on a plan so well, and it obviously was a plan. Like, that was a prescribed way to play that map, and it went just incredibly well. He just didn't have the same kind of plan in the other maps against Rafa. So as we're looking at our picks here, we actually do have a pick of Blood Run for Agent, Dahang going for Blood Covey.
Yeah, no surprises really, the Blood Covenant. I think Dahang saw how Rafa was doing on that map against Agent. It was like, I can do the same. Because Agent was like a fish out of water in that map. He wasn't certain what to do at all and got totally outplayed by Rafa. And Dahang's been showing already in his games that he's not afraid to be aggressive when he needs to, which Agent really has a bit harder time convincing himself to do so. Which you need to be really present and proactive on a map like Blood Covenant and doing damage at those items regularly. Whereas Agent, he's far more on the defensive side of the spectrum there.
Yeah, I mean, you can really tell the divide between NA and Europe or Russia in this case. I mean, Blood Run is really like the Russian map, and Blood Covenant is one that throughout Quake Champions has really been favored by the NA players because it's much slower, it's larger, it's more methodical. So we're going to really see those differences again, I think.
I think it'll be interesting because, yeah, Dahang's been kind of like the honorary Russian in America when it comes to Blood Run.
That's true.
But Blood Covenant is about as classic as it can get gameplay-wise, and you're right, what Rafa did to Agent on Blood Covenant was almost criminal. And we could see it wasn't just like a generic, oh, well, he outplayed him. Like, we could see the specific problems that Agent was having there. So maybe over the last, 15 minutes, he's been able to go into his mind palace and iterate on those a little bit.
Yeah, also important to note is that this isn't the first time that these two have played here at PGL, because they actually went up against each other in the final of the upper bracket qualifiers, where Dahang actually beat Agent already 2-1. So, might see a replay, might not. This is definitely a rematch when it comes to PGL. So
that's always a possibility with random group draws, is having some of these rivalries get stabbed a little bit harder.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting another 3-mapper, though, to be fair.
Oh, really? Okay.
Unless Agent is really exhausted after that series against Rafa, I suspect, though, he's going to be digging pretty deep. The guy's been grinding it quite a lot lately. He's been attending the LANs and Quake Champions, which is something he didn't used to do before. So I really think he's driving super hard for a result here at PGL.
Well, I'm going to be getting out of here very quickly, but as we saw, we've got Keel banned as well as Nyx. So Dahang took a note out of Rafa's anti-playbook and actually took out that Nyx.
Yeah, we can see that the Dooms as well. Something we haven't been seeing a lot of Doom lately, but really when you get bans going like against Nyx, all of a sudden this champion becomes a lot more viable, less vulnerable to some of those sneaky plays you can get from the Nyx, and obviously with that mobility is really, really useful. But I still find it a little bit surprising to see him so often now when we had kind of a hiatus from the Doom plays for a couple months.
At one point he was like one of the 3 most picked champions on just about any map, and now you really only see him on maps like Blood Covenant where his double jump can really get you between the major items very quickly.
All right, guys. Well, as we get into Blood Covenant here, I'm going to be going to find your spot on the couch. Hopefully it's still warm.
Well, cheers for that, Alex. We are going to be moving into game right now. Agent and Dahang, they're getting started on Blood Covenant. This is a knockout match. The winner is going to go to day 3 into the money. The loser has, he's got to go on the couch with Jahar.
Yeah, and we're starting this one off on Agent, starting out with his Doomslayer. We've got mirror picks all across the board, and that was a quick frag. Dahang starting off with that rocket into the LG. Agent doesn't stand a chance. Heavy is still up though, but doesn't look like Agent's going to pressure for it, even though he has the stack advantage.
Stack advantage, but no weapons whatsoever. Dahang is going to just creep in there eventually when you realize it's fully safe. Missing that rail, however. Stack's now favoring Agent a bit more, but I don't believe he's got to that rail just yet, so heavy machine gun is going to be in order for him. But these trades are not any good for Agent.
He's not going to go for the orb, he's just going to retreat for a time being. Heavy will be up first, around 5 seconds before Mega, but Dahang has got that side up. He knows exactly where Agent is waiting, and he's got that LG, so if Agent decides to drop onto Heavy with the Hang below, he's going to take so much damage. Looks like he's just going to back away, though. Moving back to Mega, that should be Agent's pick.
Yeah, fortunately for Agent, he's kept a tab on what's going on with Heavy, so there's no hidden information from either of the players at the moment. But providing Agent can find his way, he's got the orb. I wonder if he's going to go up to the rail at some point. It's so important to have that weapon on this open map, and he kind of feels a little bit starved from it.
Yeah, and the Hang definitely knows that Agent wants that weapon and that he needs it, and he's playing deliberately around this area just to deny it to Agent. You can see that right now the Hang is positioned in between the bridge and the rail. Agent doing a lot of LG damage right there. The Hang has to retreat. Heavy should be going to Agent, and this might finally be his opportunity to actually just charge in with that LG. The Hang picking up the Mega health, and now Agent is the one on the run. The Hang might actually beat him to Heavy right here.
Very strange from Agent, though, because he left the Heavy up the whole time, so he took a huge, huge risk doing that, but the orb eventually helped him up to the bridge, and he did that preemptively. But Agent's showing that he's not totally afraid and that he's wanting to push out a bit more. I think he might have realized from the last series that just a little too passive at stages and not to make that same mistake versus the Hang.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Awoken was a learning opportunity for him. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to keep up the pressure, but he still does not have that railgun. There we go, finally managing to pick up that crucial weapon on these larger maps. He does have the stack advantage and is going to drop on the Hang, but the Hang maneuvering brilliantly around that pillar, doing a lot of damage. Can't find the exit rail. Almost hit it, though. And now Agent is backing up onto that heavy armor.
Yeah, the Hang's keeping himself alive, but I wonder how he's going to be challenging for control now. Agent, he needs to put pressure on this Mega health. It's going to be up in a couple of seconds, so he's looking for damage, preferably after the Mega's taken. That's still a fantastic roll, and he gets another unreal stuff. Finally starting to land. Agent's definitely not someone who's known for his aim, but if he does start landing shots and you combine it with the control he can have, he is so damn scary.
Oh yeah, Agent is definitely known as being a very well timing player. He's got a lot of good control over the items, and now he gets himself heavy. And what we're seeing is that there's a big delay between the two items, around 15 seconds, so that might put the person in control set up for a really good rotation. That's some good tribal damage. The Hang really low right now as we are Ranger versus Ranger. He's coming up the bounce, but Agent missing everything, 0% LG, just as we're talking about his aim.
Jason Kaplan, I mean, even he hits better than that. Sorry,
Agent,
Jason.
oh, he's just out of reach for that tribal, and the Hang just turns it around. That should have been Agent's frag. There comes the Hang. Agent, 8 HP, 1 rocket will do it, and that is the Hang getting another frag on the board for him. 1 champion up right now.
Well, there is a visor, so he can definitely get that piercing sight going. If he can get some weapons, maybe he can make an aggressive push at some point, but he'll have to continue challenging for control. Going over to the Mega, he gets knocked off of the bounce pad. I don't know if he was trying to do like a last-second rush, but every second that ticks down, it means it's more likely he has to do a crazy push just to gamble to avoid the clock.
Yeah, because he's around a minute left. Oh, here comes Agent, and the Hang has got that preventive orb ready. He can just get out of there real quick, and he probably will get himself heavy too. Agent doing damage with that machine gun, but is it enough? The Hang's still looking very stacked. This might be to the death. There comes Agent. LG pulled out. He's not hitting again! Agent! How?
Well, the funny thing is it's quintessential Agent. He's... Again, when his aim works, or maybe I cursed it or something, when his aim works, it looks brilliant, but then sometimes you see these things and you see, man, if only a few things. I mean, Agent had all the chances there to clean up that round and get the advantage moving into round 2.
Yeah, and we were just sitting on the couch talking about Agent's aim's actually looking really good with the LG today, but so far, he's still hitting 34% LG, but he's just not landing the shots when they really matter. Here we go, early confrontation. Agent using that Berserk, but he's gonna use it just to get away. The Hang raining down the pain. That's 90 damage with the Tri-Bolt. Doesn't have LG though, and he's still lacking some weapons.
That's a little bit crazy from Agent, going for a fight like that.
Yeah, Agent does have all the weapons though, so in that sense he does have an advantage over the Hang, but the Hang dropping just with the stack advantage. And he's rocket jumping up to rail, so that puts the Hang at a really good position.
Yeah, Mega up in a second. The Hang going to try and be pretty quick with that, but Agent looking solid to pick up the item. Even with the damage received, he should surely fall back for it, but he moves into the rocket area and back through the teleporter. He's just put himself in the danger zone then. And the Hang is walking all over him in round 2. Maybe some frustrations trickling into this one.
Yeah, that was just a very strange decision by Agent. Instead of just moving over the pillars onto the Mega, he had still some zoning weapons. He had the Tri-Bolt, but there he comes from the back with the LG, doing quite a bit of damage. But the Hang has got the stack advantage. He's got those health bubbles. There comes the Tri-Bolt, though. The Hang, 28 points of health. Can Agent finish it here? So far, he can't. Heavy is still up. Is either player going to go for it? Looks like Agent will, but the rail! That's gonna get rid of a lot of that stack that he just gained. And now the race is on for Mega. Dahang will be the one to pick it up. Agent still pushing in relentlessly. He's down 2 champions. Dahang moving over towards Rockets, and I think that Agent finally got himself a rail as well, trying to take this long distant fight, again relying on the tribal. That's a weapon he's been using a lot today.
Yeah, it reminds me of the 1700 damage he did on Blood Run versus Rafa with that weapon. It's just a ludicrous amount. I've never seen that in my life. Dahang finally puts himself that small bit out of danger with the heavy, so he's got some stack to work with. That's a brilliant combination from Agent. Really thought that Dahang was going to be able to recover from that, but Agent looked like he was stuck in the mud before and that he wasn't going to get out of this round. Maybe there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it was that rocket that just bounced Dahang up into the air, set him up for a perfect, easy rail. And here we go. Agent finds him stuck in the corner. There comes the orb. Is he going to go for it? No! Doesn't even have the chance. That tribal is murderous when all of those balls hit. That's amazing.
That was a full 135 damage, I think.
Yeah.
Dahang just walking right into it. So again, Agent doesn't have much to work with.
Wow.
What a rocket from him. Heavy's going to be up. Now he's getting the combos going, but there is going to be the clean heavy armor taken after. That rocket narrowly missing as Dahang was going down there. Looks like Dahang might have started building a read on the American.
Yeah. We're seeing Agent still again giving a lot of respect though, because he did so much damage. First 100 damage, then the 90 of the rail, and then he doesn't push in. Dahang's really low. He's got that heavy, sure, but his health, he's like at 40 points of health, and Agent just backs away quietly. And every time you do that, you just allow your opponent to get those health bubbles back, to stack back up. And now Heavy has respawned. Agent so good with those tribals. He's not going to go for Heavy though, he's just going to collect himself Mega.
He might be able to get Heavy as well now. Dahang doesn't take the risk to go over there. Agent's expecting him to be around, but it's not the case. He realizes that he's hit the jackpot in terms of stack, and he lands rail. This is where you got to push in. I believe Berserk was just used to try and escape, but there is piercing sight. And now that the Berserk's ended, he's going to be able to clear him up. There's rail at the end. He needs to push that one.
He needs to go. Agent.
But he doesn't want to walk into
There
rockets.
we go.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Dahang
there we go.
goes down. And Agent, I mean, I don't think he won a round versus Rafa on this map, but he picks up the second against Dahang. So certainly some map-on-map improvements.
Yeah, definitely looking better here than he did against Rafa earlier. And the tribal damage, he's already almost at 600 tribal damage over 2 rounds in. So Agent making it work with that weapon is going to start off again on the Doomslayer. Quick and easy jump over to that railgun. Heavy is still waiting for him while Dahang took the Mega health. Dahang really delaying his piercing sight at this time. Something that we've seen a lot of players do. Can really draw off your opponent. There he goes.
Oh. Wow, those rockets from Agent were unreal considering piercing sight was used during the fight.
Yeah.
But Dahang now looking to have a bit of a recovery as he was injured heavily. Is there going to be a quick rush from Agent? Well, it's too late for that now because 100-100 has been reattained, and there's going to be a split on the major items.
Oh, missing that rail. Can he find it? Nope, can't find the second one even. Dahang has got his sight ready again as Agent backs up onto the Heavy. We're going to get another confrontation right here. Good rockets, that's 100 damage already. Agent, can he get out alive? So far he can. Dahang is going to drop on him. Agent going up the bounce pad maybe. Yeah, Dahang hears him and knows that his opponent got away for the time being. Probably going to start setting up for Mega already unless he tries to really chase this one down. He might have heard Agent down below. Pushing in so far. Agent right below him. Dahang is really trying to zone him out of the Mega. Yeah, good rocket by Agent. Dahang pushing in. There comes the orb.
Whoa, that messed with Dahang a little bit there. He wasn't sure that he was going to commit through that one to Dahang. Sorry, Agent's like Houdini at the moment.
He got out with 27 points of health right there at the orb. Dahang definitely
look what he's gained from it though. He's managed to get himself a light armor. He's managed to get onto the Mega health. All of a sudden, Agent actually looks kind of strong and that he can come back in this before losing a second. Looking for the Dire Orb, nothing going to be acquired from that, just firing out, just respect me, Dahang.
Yeah, I think Agent definitely could see that Dahang used his ability right there, so he knows that Dahang doesn't have that sight up for at least another 30 seconds, even if he picks up some of those hourglasses. Oh, that's a big rail to take. He knows he can't make the jump across just yet, as he was railable. Is this that just going to loop back around to the Heavy?
Dahang didn't notice him going down through Banana, so doesn't really realize that Heavy was taken straight away. He'll find out in a second. There's another orb come out, but here comes the chase. Rocket almost getting him right in the head, but there's going to be a move around the corner. However, these defensive rockets from Agent suddenly delivering, and now Dahang gets eyes on Heavy and realizes, oh, it's gone. Time to recalibrate my timing for that item.
Yeah, both players so low right now, though. Any good rocket could finish either one off, but Dahang is going back towards Mega. Agent picking up that Heavy. Dahang using that side defensively. That's a little bit of damage, but the rail follow is of course nice. Agent faking it out with the orb, doesn't go for it, doesn't follow up. Now at Dahang once again in that good position, dropping down onto Agent. LG coming out from both players. Both players really low. Agent just barely clinging on to his life as Dahang goes up the rocket bounce pad.
That was pretty nuts from Agent. I don't know how he's escaping these fights. Oh my god, the timing on that.
Fraction of a second longer, and that might have been a frag for Dahang.
But every time Agent's just about getting away from these fights, he's stacking back up. Again, only one frag to recover. So if he can string one rail or two together, he's going to be able to finish off a kill.
Yeah.
Rockets raining from above, just in front of the shards. Nothing much more hitting. Oh, the rail at the end. All right, all of a sudden, we could just get
oh, here he goes.
Good control.
Yeah, there comes Agent pushing in relentlessly, taking a 50 damage rocket though. Doesn't look like he's immediately gonna push it, but he might find Dahang right here. Orb, fake it out. Dahang, can he get out?
Oh, the rail, he's got a chance to hit another one, but he's so weak himself that he can't justify going for it. Mega's going to be up. If he can swing over to the bridge, I mean, we got power of this bird's eye view. Oh, the rail, he lands it through the teleporter. There's the tying frag. It looked like it was impossible to happen. Given the amount of times Dahang went in on him, Orb again out, but Agent, I think he's overcommitted a little bit, so just time to escape. And now, with the light armor, maybe repowered to fight.
Agent definitely needs to be careful not to overcommit right now because he tied it up 1-1. The pressure is off for the time being. He doesn't need to force any fights in the next minute. He does need to get, of course, one more frag, but at least he's no longer chasing Dahang's lead. Making his way over to Mega. What a great rail. Mega will be Agents, and look at that stag difference. Dahang currently so low, 50 points of health. Is Agent going to follow through? No, he will not. Rocket jumping up, beautiful read.
Oh my god.
Oh, that second rocket, that looked like it was going to connect.
Is there an angle there?
No,
I can't find
almost.
It. Even the pre-fire, just in case something happens. There's the tri-bolt. Dahang wants to be careful with that one, but again, another freebie, and the Agent's going to fade away. All of a sudden, Dahang's turned this one around, and with 20 seconds to go, it looks like the next kill is going to determine who is on map point.
Yeah, this might as well be sudden death. Agent, 59 points of health. One rail will finish him off. Gets out alive. Still railable though. He's got to get out because Dahang is following. No more tri-bolts. Oh, I wish he would have stepped in the blood pool for a second. Good defensive rocket. Dahang not going to follow on through with that orb. Heavy will be the next item of contests.
That's the second time he's done that with the tri-bolt and clicked through, realizing he's got no ammo. Heavy now just spawning. If it was a couple of seconds earlier, I think Dahang would have quickly rocket jumped up.
Yeah, Dahang really is at this point starving Agent of so many resources. He's just barely getting by, but he will be back up to that 100 health, 50 armor.
Stop doing that, Agent. Just the third time you've clicked through. It's like, man, I really need some of that tri-bolt.
Go get
Give
it,
me
man.
that fix.
Go get it. Go get it. He's back up to 100, 100. Dahang has got the advantage in terms of stacks since he did pick up the Mega last. But we've got Heavy coming up in just 5 seconds, and Agent might actually be able to contest for this one.
Agent lost without tri-bolt.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got it. He's got it, guys. Agent's going to win this round now with his tri-bolt.
Trying to put some defensive tribals down. Good read though, but just not far enough down that little hallway. And now Mega is up. This might actually be Agent's play. Is he gonna go for it? No, he is not. And he's even missing one rail, two rails, and Dahang does connect those. Agent. He's taking some pretty good fights here, but he's just not landing the shots at the moment. And Dahang is following him. Oh, there he comes. There comes the orb as well. Agents LG looking shaky. But the rocket. Oh, nicely done.
What the hell has happened there? Dahang goes into that fight thinking, I've got this one locked down. I know that he's used abilities and so on. I'm just going to be able to shut down the kill immediately. But that turnaround, that switch over to the direct rocket, that was really clutch from Agent.
Oh, Dahang's reaction just on screen. He is not too happy about that one. We're starting off the next round with Agent. Agent might actually take Blood Covenant, and that could be huge. If Agent takes Blood Covenant...
If he takes this map, I'm actually favoriting him to win the series. I gotta say, people will give me flack maybe, but ahead of this series, I would assume that two Americans are going to go through to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if this map is taken by Agent, I think I'd definitely hope to be able to change that prediction. Now, that's a lot of damage from Dahang. 92 collective health and armor for Agent, so he won't be quite railable, but everything's touch and go. These rockets on so many defensive rockets.
I'm very
unreal.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to see Agent not zooming in with that heavy machine gun though, because you're so accurate at long range with that weapon.
He doesn't do it, right?
No, he doesn't do it. He just goes for the 10s instead going for the 15 damages. There we go. Decent amount of tribal damage coming out, looking for more tribal even, because he doesn't see, he's not zooming in. He's not zooming in ever, and he still doesn't have rail.
Does he have a zoom bind, actually? I want to check if he uses zoom at all. Maybe he genuinely might not bind it.
This might be his opportunity to get the rail, though, and finally he gets a hold of it. Is he going to drop down onto Heavy? It looks like Dahang is going to vacate the area. This is going to be Agent's item, but Dahang will be first up from Mega. He's taking the long way around, though. This is giving Agent an opportunity to take both of the major items. Dahang really slowing it down right now, waiting at the top of the teleporter. But he will, I think Dahang just messed up the jump and accidentally dropped down, though I didn't see it from his point of view. And now Agent, there's a pretty good delay between the two major items, around 15 seconds.
Agent should have a good idea of the timing, though, even though he didn't see or hear the Mega get picked up. That bounce pad usage gives it away. Again, missing shots on this side. There we go. Rail finally connecting. He's hitting about 41% rail at the moment, maybe a bit more, which is more than Dahang, but he's been firing a lot of shots.
Yeah, it feels like, it doesn't feel like 41% when you see him play. It's a little bit surprising. Oh, that's a good one, though. Dahang left low. He saw that Dahang used his piercing sight. He doesn't have any ability left right now. But Agent, taking a lot of damage of those long-range rockets, has to back away and retreat onto the Heavy, which he will take. He's down to one railgun shot left. He needs to be careful that he's not running out of ammo again. Might very well happen.
Nice LG.
Yeah.
Good trickle. Actually, that's got rid of any kind of armor Dahang might have had, and the overstack health that he previously had acquired. And that was without piercing sight. Dahang's now got his ability back online.
Yeah, very good read by Dahang right there. That's going to delay, slow down Agent quite a bit. Mega will be up first. 5 seconds afterwards, we're going to see Heavy. And Agent isn't even pressuring. That could be so risky because he just keeps giving Dahang these free items.
But the thing is, he can't always pressure because he's so weak. And if he knows he's getting out-aimed, it makes it incredibly risky because all of a sudden he takes the damage. He can't even go to the Heavy because of the pressure Dahang can then apply to him. So it's quite conservative, yes, but I think at this stage of the tournament he's probably thinking, if I'm going to go in for a fight, let's try and make sure my stack is a little bit more stable, even if it means it's equal stacks later on.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to make these fights count because this might be his runaway round. If he takes this one, he beats Dahang, he beats an American on Blood Covenant, and next map up would be his home base, Blood Run. I'm really doubting that he has a zoom button bound at this point. We haven't seen a single zoom coming out of Agent, and Dahang is just raining down the damage. Yeah, good switch to LG. Agent was waiting, I think, for that lower armor to spawn, but Dahang was just a little bit too fast with the drop. And now Dahang setting up for Heavy already. He's got that side up again. Here comes Agent. Gotta be careful, though.
Yeah, he sees the checkpoint. He's like, still a minute 20. Don't really want to gamble on everything just yet. He can get himself the mega health. The stacks are going to be incredibly equal, and then it's going to be a time to really push in. And if he can't get anything in the next rotation, then it's really just go in no matter what. All out, it doesn't do anything. His LG is not terrible whatsoever. Agent has got a health advantage for the moment, and Dahang's the one who kind of wants to flee, and no pun on you now.
No pun.
And 45 seconds later, he can maybe get the clock killed. Or LG here from Agent. Great rocket. That's saved Dahang's ass.
Yeah, absolutely. Agent was just going full plus forward. He would have finished that one off for sure, but then Dahang hitting that 100 damage direct rocket, and now even trying to choke Agent out of the rail, but that of course does give away his position. Here he comes. Yeah, he does go down. Agent, very aggressive play, making it work. Taking out Dahang, tying it up with 20 seconds to go.
This is kind of scary for Dahang at the moment, considering what he saw Shane doing.
Yeah.
Getting the 3-0 on Agent, he was probably expecting a slightly easier ride on this map. I don't know if Agent's just getting stronger as the day goes, or he's been learning from his mistakes, but it feels like we're watching a different player.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if Dahang gives up one more frag this round, it's over. He lost the first map. That's the one that he's supposed to win. That's the one that he should be best at. That's his own pick. So he's probably going to feel some nerves right now. Both players are on Ranger. That's always making for a pretty quick game. Oh, Agent not deciding to orb just yet. It's going to play it a little bit passively for the time being, but there he goes. Good opening rocket, but the LG is so strong. Dahang coming out on top of that fight. Heavy going to Agent. Mega will be going towards Dahang. Both players just retreating to their own corners to stack up again a little bit. And now Dahang is out of rockets. He's gonna want some ammo for those. I hope he realizes it, that he doesn't drop down. And then here's the fatal click at the worst possible time. They're both kind of sneaking next to each other.
I don't know if you saw him just then. I think he might have just, on his peripheral vision, caught eye of him then.
Yeah.
Agent's ammunition. I mean, he's only got 5 tri-bolt ammo left, which we know he could struggle with sometimes. Oh, he's got to get out. He's used his orb already. I think Dahang wants to go in. There's a rail chance just then, but he couldn't quite land it, and Agent lives to see another day.
Yeah, Agent now definitely on the back foot, needs to stack back up again, find a good situation, but Dahang is just so punishing with those rails, and he's hitting them all. Agent down to like 50 points of health, and Dahang will find it, tying it up 2-2. What a close round.
Very, very close. You can see there's a massive battle, a war of attrition between the two players. There's a lot of based on control and trying to push in at the smart time. And you can see both of them respecting each other as well. The amount of fights we get where we have to have some kind of clutch defensive rocket from either player, and they just have to split and go to their own sides of the map. No one's willing to totally gamble on everything. It's very much a control. Control comes first.
Yeah, there we go. And Agent doing a good amount of damage with those heavy nails right there. He's still holding down the position onto the bridge, getting himself a rail. First item up is going to be Mega, but there's very little time between the two of them. Agent might catch Dahang off. Surprise, I hear, but not going to in the end. Dahang catches sight of him, very corner of his eye. Almost making the jump. Not quite. It's a difficult jump to do. It is.
I'm going to float over to Agent on the other side with the Mega stack. Oof. That rocket again, just as he had a pretty alright stack. It's been shut down.
That's exactly what you said. It's those defensive rockets. We've seen so many of them already, and we're just 4 rounds in. That really just changed the course of a map. Agent, good trap though. That's a decent opening rocket, but just 30 damage. Definitely not what he was hoping for.
Big shame, because he knew exactly what was going to be going on then, looking to absolutely have the punish, but Dahang escapes it.
Yep.
He's got Mega with a bit of a delay on the heavy, so Agent's going to drop away from the heavy. He doesn't even want to look for damage at the moment and just kind of survival. Figure out how he can get himself on the map. Maybe land a rail shot if Dahang exposes himself. You might see him now. There's no piercing sight yet.
Oh, he almost got sight of him. This is so big. Dahang using piercing sight as he's jumping into the room. I think Agent did catch sight of it, so he knows not to press. Right now he's going to wait just a little bit longer. Gotta say though, I'm pretty impressed with Agent's ability to read Dahang, because we've had so many good reads come out of Agents where he knew exactly where his opponent would be. But now he just needs to follow it up with the damage. Dahang, that might have been a big mistake jumping in there right there, but Agent, Agent!
What a turnaround from Dahang. He got popped off a little bit, but then finds the rocket into the rail. He just lands beautiful angles. And now Dahang, he's looking to take charge again. He looks doubtful that he was going to win this map at one stage, but now, with the wind in his sails, he's going for it.
This is definitely, I mean, this is the deciding round. Whoever takes home this round will win map 1. And I think Dahang's aim, his rail is just so good. And it's really making it difficult for Agent, who's down below, taking rocket after rocket. Here comes the drop down. Agent solo.
He can't land the last shot. Is Agent going to be able to get away from this? Some defensive shots?
No, not quite.
Not going to be able to get it. Dahang with 1 frag left. It is against Visor, but his control is good. And Agent, he's got everything to do. And it would be such a bonus for him. Fortunately for him, I don't think he's pressuring himself too much on this map, but it's going to be slightly heartbreaking knowing you are so close to closing down this one and possibly staring at a 2-0 versus Dahang.
Yeah, I mean, he was 1 frag away from winning map 1, so that's going to be crushing either way if he has to give this one up yet. But he knows, Zoot, that there is still time at this point. There's 2 minutes to go, so Agent doesn't have to overextend just yet, and he's got the visor, he's got that sight. Might make it easy for him to set up traps, but Dahang just evading all the damage around the edges right there and doing a lot himself with that LG. He's going to back up onto Mega Health. But he's reluctant though, because he knows that he's pretty low, and if Agent gets there first, and that's exactly what's happening. Agent pushing in, LG coming out, the damage is good, it's solid.
Really, really good push from Agent. Dahang heard a rocket jump coming from heavy. He thought he went over to bridge, but in fact went over to banana and totally changed his route. Dahang was not sure what to expect, so very smart play from Agent, knowing he's got to clutch something out, pull something out of the bag in the next 1 minute 15. And with, well, the visor, can often give yourself those possibilities.
Yeah. Agent leaving heavy up so long. I mean, I'm sure he has the item timing on it, but he's just chasing down Dahang. He's got a minute left. Still plenty of time to make something happen, and he's gonna find Dahang right away, but he needs to always be careful of that Dire Orb, because that can come out so quickly, so suddenly, and change it all.
He just saw it getting used now, so with the piercing sight coming up, he's going to be looking at making an attack, get some entry damage into a fight. It's essential that he gets damage now from using the piercing sight. There's a rail. He's looking out for possibly another, but the walls are going to have to start closing around Dahang by the force of Agent. Otherwise, the time is going to be a huge, huge factor. One big rail, looking to connect anything else, knowing that each one of these are so important, but he doesn't quite cut Dahang off at the right point.
No, Dahang moving on to bridge right now, and that's a big gap to make as Visor. Might have heard Dahang jump across though. Side won't be up for quite some time. Mega is up, and it's going to be Dahang taking that one. Here we go. This is Agent's last chance. 10 seconds to go. Dahang does go for the orb. Good read by Agent, but does he still have time? 5 seconds. He's right below you, but I don't think he can find him on time. Oh, he actually might. 1 rocket, 2.
So close.
Oh, Dahang should count his blessings after that one. 2 more seconds, and that would have been Agent's.
No, absolutely. Agent, he's got such a strange way of playing at the end of the clock when he's chasing for a kill. We've seen him use some very risky strategies, kind of waiting silently in parts of the maps and hoping that the enemy's going to run into him. At that point, he was a bit more proactive, but it was kind of touch and go at certain stages. Is he even going to land any damage before the clock runs out?
Yeah. He's got a good read on Dahang, though, I have to say. At several times, I mean, we really saw Agent just predict exactly where his opponent would be and catch him off guard there, too, especially at the end. He knew exactly where Dahang was going to go, and he almost made it happen, but just fell short.
I think for Agent, though, he's got to feel good about his game. He might have lost the map narrowly, but he's got to feel that moving into Blood Run, that actually he's playing at a solid level and not to get discouraged.
Yeah, taking a quick look at the scoreboard that we're seeing on screen right now, Agent doing, well, both of these players, 8 to 7k damage. That's a lot for Duel. In terms of item control, pretty similar, I would say, around 45 items each. So, slight advantage
on the lights,
for Dahang.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually for both, in fact.
Yeah, for both. In terms of accuracy, actually not that much difference between LG. Agent actually beating Dahang by 1 percentage point of LG. He should feel good for himself.
I think there was about 1,000 more rail damage from Dahang, however, and there was definitely points in that game where if Agent landed just 1 or 2 extra rails, it would have made a massive, massive difference as to whether he could aggress. And, you know, that could have allowed for him to get the 3-1 in the map rather than allowing it to get to that 5th round and not clutching it out in the end. We are going to be jumping into the champion picks in a second. It looks like we've got Ranger and Ranger. Galena as well going for Dahang. It looks like total mirror match for the moment. I suspect the Visor will come out from Dahang unless he's got a wild card pick of sorts. He's going to go for BJ.
Okay. Well, I mean, BJ is one of those champions that in the current meta, he works on pretty much any map. He's a solid backup pick when you don't know what to go for. If you don't really have an answer to something, BJ, double LG, that can always help turn fights around.
Double LG. I've seen some really good rocket usage actually from Dahang and Rafa when they was BJ. It can be incredibly scary. And obviously we're going on to a map which has got a lot of tri-bolt going on. So if Agent gets less than 1,700 damage of the tri-bolt again, I'm going to be very upset. But I'm hoping maybe some of the BJ double tri-bolt will come out.
I mean, this is his home base. this is Agent home base. This is where he was born and bred.
Yeah. Well, let's get into game right now. If Agent loses this map, he is out of the tournament, and it puts Dahang into day 3, into the money, and we are live with Agent to start with. He's got a very good amount of control.
Yeah, and he's already got the tri-bolt, his favorite weapon. He's good to go. He doesn't need anything else. Dahang going through that teleporter. He should have heard that he doesn't even go for rockets. Agent.
He's chasing.
Yeah, he's just going for it right away. But oh my god, those were pretty good rockets coming out of Dahang. Agent's got to be careful right now. Doesn't have rail, doesn't have rockets. He's got that Dire Orb ready again, though. Is he going to go in for Mega? Nope, he's doing a decent amount of damage, but will retreat to Heavy. There comes Dahang. Good play by the American. But their tri-bolt damage is pretty huge. This is good by Agent, pulling out the damage for once.
That rail was absolutely important. I think Dahang might have gone in on that if it hadn't have landed. Agent was on the back foot. Manages to get onto the light armor, so his stack's looking decent. I suspect when we come to Mega Health, we'll probably have a fight down there. Possibly tri-bolt to Mega. but there'll be a challenge. This is fully under contest, these two major items.
Yeah, and important to note is that Agent still doesn't have the rockets. We're around a minute in, and he doesn't have one of the most crucial weapons within the game. He's just been getting by with the tribal, but still, those rockets, those are something that you want to get a hold of. And I don't know if Dahang is aware.
He says just as they get their items and run away from each other.
Oh, Agent, that reads. That reads. That was such a good rail, but unfortunately he took some damage himself. There comes Dahang. Not gonna commit just yet. The tribal.
Can't push around the corner at all. He's just kind of zoning Dahang out a little bit, trying to get these zones himself. He didn't. Oh my god, he's just walking into rockets. You've got to get out of there a little bit. Heavy's still not being taken. Is he going to peek for a rail?
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
That's a ballsy play from Agent. 75 points of health. One rail would have finished him off clean right there. And he still decided to peek. He's got the reads. I mean, I've said it before, but he really just seems to be inside of Dahang's head, knowing exactly where he is. He just needs to start hitting those shots. Doesn't go for the Dire, probably the safer and wiser choice in this decision. But this time it will be Dahang getting himself on the mega health. And he's got the stack. He's got the orb. Agent does not. So this is probably going to mean that Heavy will be going to Dahang. Agent not even going to contest.
We know that Agent's not afraid of playing defensively on this map. So I suspect he's going to move around, look for some of those opening rockets of some sort. For Dahang, it's just important now to try and keep that control going. Careful around the corner, because of course a Dire Orb can just totally KO you. However, he's got that armed and ready.
Yeah, I think that's a fear for both players, because they're both Ranger, they're both up against a Ranger, so that Dire Orb that can come out at any time. Agent is just, he's using Tribal more than any other weapon at this point. He's got, he's got already almost 200 damage with the Tri-Bolt.
I'm very surprised that Dahang just gave that one up for free. He's sneaking on by. Agent turns around for a second. Again, Tri-Bolt out. Little more chips of damage. It's all adding up. It's all putting pressure onto Dahang. Dahang now with Mega in front of him.
Yep. He's gonna get onto it, and now Agent is waiting for Heavy, but this time Dahang isn't gonna let that item slide so quickly. Jumps in with a murderous rail, pushing Agent backwards, and now Dahang is just gonna try and zone him out of this oh so crucial item. Heavy will be going to Dahang.
Won't be surprised if we get to sudden death at this rate, just because Agent is not afraid to play out a map to its absolute fullest.
Oh yeah. Some players really do thrive on that. Others just get anxious, they get frustrated that it's taking so long. They want that action, they want things to happen and progress. But others, like Agent, have absolutely no issue with just playing it slowly and waiting for that perfect opportunity. They don't care if it takes 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they'll play their own game. Not at all fazed by what others might think or do. There comes Dahang, leaving Heavy up. Agent not aware of this though, isn't gonna go for Heavy right away. Will pick up that top armor, and Dahang so far in really good control of the items, has been taking so many of them back to back.
Yeah, it's really on thin ice at some points for Dahang, because he's trying to push the boundaries a bit, pressure Agent, but Agent just makes it so difficult to do that. And Dahang is just calculated carefully. Okay, if I push a bit more, it means I might go out of control. So I can't do that. No matter what happens, I keep control of the map, which is a job he's done phenomenally.
Yeah.
However, he's got to keep it up.
Yeah, of course, because that's why Dahang retreated a bit earlier, because he wants to chase, and he does chase for a while, but there comes a point where he realizes, if I keep going, and I just keep following my opponent, he goes through the teleporter, he can actually just jump onto Heavy and steal my item, and that's definitely not something you want to have happen, because that's how you get out of control. That's just how you let someone else slip back into the game. And now we are seeing an overtime. This might as well be sudden death. It's going to be Ranger versus Ranger all the way for this first round. Almost hitting the rail there, Agent, but not. Just not yet. And Dahang is just continuing his control.
Oh, this could be nice, actually.
Yep. Oh. The orb! Oh.
He gets absolutely punched just then. I think Agent was trying to... It's like, I'm going to trap him. I'm going to do so well in this fight. And all of a sudden, the trapper comes to the trappee. And, yeah, Dahang just all over him. Yeah, he was so quick to react, actually. So it's a good job he realized that Agent could be hiding around one of these corners. And with a stack like that, really only the orb was going to save Agent.
I think that Dahang won that on speed, because Agent threw his orb, and then he was like waiting for a split second to see if Dahang would fall into it, but by the time that Dahang had landed, he had already orbed behind Agent, and Agent was still just sitting there like, what? Bit too slow on the reaction by Agent. Oh, and now Dahang showing that he knows how to use that Tri-Bolt as well, doing a good amount of damage to Agent right there. Heavy will be up in just 5 seconds.
I really want Agent to push a bit harder now. He's got an edge stack-wise. He's going to go down with Rocket. His orb comes out. Dahang, he gets onto the Mega Health, so it's a brilliant counter for him. Yeah. And now the Heavy is there, so he can start to really establish control on the map. We're going to be getting more than one frag this time round.
That's for sure. Here we go. Dahang already pushing Agent backwards to the teleporter. Agent this time playing his Galena. He might be booby trapping some areas, and that's got to be dangerous for Dahang. He's got to be careful. We saw it happen to Rafa earlier too. Rafa going through a teleporter, running into 150 points of damage, 2 combined totems. So he needs to be aware that he can't just freely move around the map the way he did before. I'm gonna use a rocket jump instead to just get around. Heavy will be up, but that'll be probably Agent's pick. No, Dahang getting the better positioning. And he's even going to push in.
Oh, that totem taking a lot of damage, but that orb, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to block that anymore. That is a direct shove all over Agent. So now his control still looks decent. The Mega is going to be up in about 5 seconds time. And Agent, you've got to have an answer, and there is none at all. The rail lands after. Is he going to chase up the teleporter? Sorry, the bounce pad? Not quite.
Yeah, no, Dahang knows that he doesn't have to chase for those frags. He knows that he's 2 frags ahead already. Yeah, that's too good to let go. But sometimes you just know that even though you will probably win the fight, there's always just that chance that you might just take so much damage that it's not even worth it, or that it will be turned around right in your face.
This is a really, really good frag. He knows exactly the trajectory that's going on there. We're going to get into round 3. Dahang, he clinches Blood Covenant, but now he's all of a sudden 2-0 up on Agent's map pick. Maybe Agent was a little bit more shaken by his loss.
Agent's just jumping down that hallway wearing nothing but the gauntlet, and Dahang knows exactly where he is going to try and push in a bit, but taking quite a bit of that tribal damage. Agent, we might actually see him go out 3-0 on his own map. Ooh. Out comes the orb, but Dahang doesn't press for it. He's got to pick himself up some more rockets, so that's something that Dahang needs to keep in mind, whereas Agent is keeping top control. Good trap by Agent, and Dahang doesn't have the orb.
Whoa. That was a really nice play from Agent. Dahang did not expect to jump down at all. He walked in, didn't have an ability that he could use really offensively at that stage.
Yeah, this is a moment for Agent to capitalize on. He knows that Dahang doesn't have many weapons. Oh no, Dahang stuck in that corner. This could be dramatic, but Agent is just letting him get out for free. Tiny little bit of tribal damage as Agent moves back onto Heavy right away, and Dahang even gets away with Mega Health. Not sure if he was a bit too passive right there.
He might want to drop down, actually. He can consider that. There is the dual wheel to be careful of, but the rockets are perfect from him. Finally, Agent is getting something done on Blood Run. Whether it's too little, too late, is yet to be determined. Dahang, limited amount of health and armor. Mega and Heavy are going to come up at the same time, and Agent would love to figure out a way to collect both of them.
Yeah. He might get some good amount of damage here on Dahang. That's going to buy him some time. But if he goes to Heavy first, then he's going to lose out on Mega. Yeah, I think he should have dropped for Mega instead and maybe orb back up.
Well, he doesn't need to get the kill. Yeah. So going down to Mega Health, he forces himself into a fight. It might not be favorable if Dahang gets a good early shot, but that 100 damage extra with the orb doesn't even need to teleport through to it. Dahang is in a lot of trouble. Yeah, unless he can get some early damage going. This is hard work.
Yeah, good LG though from Dahang right there, because Agent looked so set to take that fight all the way and to close out the round, but Dahang's LG just pushed back Agent, doing so much, and Dahang is even just gonna drop down on this. He knows that he still has his work cut out for him. He knows that he needs to get at least 2 more frags in the next 2.5 minutes, whereas Agent is just much more comfy. He doesn't have to force anything. He can play the passive game that he enjoys so much, but he's gonna chase Dahang for the time being though.
If this was any other map, I'd be worried at how passive Agent is sometimes with a lead, but because he's such an expert here, there's no way you can question how he's playing in this sort of defensive manner. As long as he really doesn't let Dahang take Mega Health after Heavy armor and put up 3 totems up on the map and totally play himself out of it, I feel like he could theoretically think about the clock already.
Oh yeah, 2 minutes. I mean, it's feasible. It's definitely doable. And Blood Run is a pretty good map to run down the clock with. You've got so many good teleporters, you've got blood pools, you've got a lot of these tight choke points that you can wait around. So Agent, this is definitely one of the better maps to try and run down the clock with. But still, that's still 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go, and that's a lot.
He gets rid of both the totems on the exit. He's wise to that. He knows he's done that to Shane, and he's not going to have that done to himself.
Yeah. What you were talking about does seem to be coming true, though, because Dahang has been taking all of the major items for the past 2 cycles. Agent! Oh.
He felt it. He was like, oh god, there's a totem there, but I can't see it any second longer. He needs to find a way out, and unfortunately, the totem was all over him. 1:20 left, and all of a sudden, the passive play, maybe it's a regret. But if he can get some weapons, and if he can get some of that stack, and this totem's going, maybe there's a chance he can hold on to this still. But this is the punishment for not wanting to finish the job earlier.
Oh, here we go. Dahang is pushing in. 35 damage, opening rocket, even a rail to follow on. Can he fight Agent? Good rail. What a shot by Dahang. Can't find the follow-up. The 1 minute left to go, and he's on chase mode right now, trying to lock Agent down. But Agent playing a very defensive game. Heavy will be up in just a few seconds, and Mega right afterwards. Dahang has got such a solid rotation going for him right now.
Even the light armor denial, I really feel that Agent might have been able to go for that, but he knows that if he goes to the light armor, one of his only roads of escape is going through the teleporter, and he doesn't know whether or not a totem's there. So Agent is really, again, in a dangerous position. Every second counting so much. There's the delay. He walks through the corridor, goes in for the attack now. Agent is stuck, and that is going to be tied up on champions. Doesn't matter about going into sudden death anymore, because only Agent's visor can prevent him from getting 3-0'd on this pivotal map.
Yeah. He's got a visor up against the Galena, and it's going to be difficult getting into this right now, because Dahang is even going to deny that small armor, doing a little bit of self-damage with the nail gun so that he can pick that one up, completely starving Agent of resources right now, and we have officially entered the sudden death. Not that it really mattered anymore, but Heavy will be up first, and then it is Mega, and that's always the situation that you prefer, because you can just pick up Heavy and drop down onto that Mega right afterwards.
The silver lining for Agent is, I think, really his champion is going to be better in this matchup. He's now going to realize that Heavy wasn't taken. Can he sneak across to it? He can, but he's so low on health. There should be a couple of 25s for him. He grabs them, gets away, but Dahang with the Mega and the full 100 natural stack on the armor is terrifying for him. There is piercing sight, and again, the rocket at the beginning, and mid-air as well. He searches for another one, but Dahang, he falls back. Agent, again, not over-committing to that position. Maybe spotting a rail angle over there. Dahang, just a little bit of a spam shot, hoping something is going to connect. The items, though, they're coming back up, and that rocket is massive from Agent. He's just secured full control of the map, and maybe after everything that went wrong in the last couple of minutes, he can fix this now.
Yeah, because he can finally get himself some of those weapons. He had been playing that entire time with just the rocket launcher. Didn't have LG, didn't have rail, none of that. And now finally that he's broken Dahang's control and he got himself in that power position, he's able to finally secure some of those weapons. He's got that piercing side up, and he knows very well where Dahang is waiting for him right now.
I wonder if he knows about these 2 totems here near Secret, because there's a sneaky spot for Dahang to be sort of positioning the totem so he can get closer to having 3 down. And that means that he can get the overstack healing going with it. Dahang now, he's able to get it, so he can get the full 175. And he's thinking, do I triple stack it there, or should I put totems somewhere else? Because if he finds one of those totems and all 3 die, and he decides just to hide it near the bounce pad.
Dividing his assets a little bit. Agent is going to find 2 of those totems.
Well played, Agent.
Yeah, that's good that he's finally getting rid of those. He's using his piercing side, getting some tribal damage as well. Oh, he's got to be careful. That was such a good rocket. Mega up in just a second. Dahang is just playing the evasive game, going through the teleporter, not ready to commit to just yet. And now Agent looking so stacked, but Dahang is not doing him bad to self. I mean, he's 100, looking pretty decent. Agent is the one who's in control right now. Yep. Heavy will be up in around 10 seconds. I think that's what's probably going to go to Agent unless Dahang can pull out a miracle somewhere, especially with that piercing side up again. So he knows that Dahang is waiting. Good read by the American. Mega in just a second. Agent moving into it, but Dahang is now basically playing what Agent did earlier.
Very risky from Dahang, but I like it as well. Judging the position, dodging nicely, securing light armor, and retaining most of that stack that he had. And Rocket just getting blocked by the staircase. Agent, his control is not secured, and Dahang definitely wants to challenge on the next heavy armor. This tribot position should help him block these entrances to the item. And Agent with no piercing sight, he can't get any easy damage on Dahang. So all those chances he had in control for 2-3 minutes, they're all gone now. Yeah. Dahang's secured all the major items. He's going to have a second totem shortly, and he's, I mean, on track to just get himself through to day 3.
Yeah, definitely looks that way, because This could be going on for quite some time, because Agent is on a very capable champion to chase someone down with. He's on Visor, he's got that piercing sight, but Dahang is probably on the most defensive champion for the time being, because he can just trap those totems, or he can trap those teleporters rather, and get himself so healed up with those totems, making it very difficult for Agent to chase, because he effectively cannot use 2 of those teleporters.
Really, really bad situation for Agent, though. He's on 100 health. It's been painstaking for him to stack up. He's looking for the light armor, does get hold of it, but knows that these teleporters he can't go through. Every route he takes, it just feels like they're getting cut off one by one. He gets over to the nail gun, gets the other light armor. Maybe there is still going to be some energy left in him, but he's got to clear these couple of totems.
Yeah, he's got to be careful, though. I mean, he's so starved of resources. He's got that 100-100, though, but Dahang is definitely picking up all of the major items, even going to go down to Mega again. And both players seem very content with slowing the game down, because Dahang is really just trying to put up a trap. That's a good opening rocket from Agent. Can't find the follow-up. Here comes Dahang. This might be the end. 140 damage out of Agent, and still Dahang is outstacking him. Railgun coming out. Both players have got all the weapons, so at least they don't have to worry about that for the time being, at least, because at some point they will need more ammo if this keeps up.
Oh, there was piercing sight there. If Dahang went up that staircase, he was going to take a lot of damage. Mega health going to be up in 1 moment. We're looking at almost 10 minutes of gameplay in this round. Dahang, he's kind of waiting for a mistake from Agent that he can capitalize on. Dahang knows he's the one who's got to Agent knows he's the one who's got to make those plays, either for survival or just to, force a round on the board for himself. He's got everything to play for.
Yeah. Agent knows that he has to do something, but I don't think he quite knows what. So he's just looking for an opening. He's hoping for that one rocket that bounces Dahang, and then maybe a follow-up air rocket, just so that he can revert the stack zone.
Oh no, the totem! And another totem on the exit! He just runs into all of them. That enables Dahang to get the 3-0 here on Blood Run. He finds himself as the second person to get into day 3. Incredibly well done from him, but Agent.
Yeah.
Poor Agent.
At the end, I mean, he looked so set to take Blood Covenant, and then just it goes wrong at the worst possible time.
I think we saw some of those emotions leaking into Blood Run, just because it was, you could tell normally in Blood Run, if he gets to play it first, maybe it's going to be different. But I don't know, Jahar, if you had any kind of conflicting thoughts or feelings.
Oh man, do we actually have totem accuracies on the scoreboard at all? Can we get that? That would be nice.
That was a lot of totem damage at the end.
It was. And yeah, 2 Galena players on Blood Run is a sight to behold. I think they were going for the full Elder time limit there, but it was fantastic stuff.
For sure. What I really enjoyed, though, between these 2 players, it is that war of attrition. The way that control meant everything, and you could see those mind games that were incredibly apparent. Occasionally, some clutch shots coming in here and there, but it was very much a control, intelligence-based game, I felt.
Yeah, I think you can really see it if you look at the scoreboard that's up right now. If you just look at the item differences, 26 mega healths for Dahang versus just 7 on Agent. I mean, that's what makes the difference. I think that Blood Covenant was a map that was more won by Dahang's aim. His rails were so crucial, but this one was just control all the way.
And it always feels like against Dahang, the longer the round goes on, the worse your chances are. He just doesn't break stride at all. He looks like a monk, but he plays like a monster.
The net just tightens as time goes on when you're up against him. That's definitely true.
I felt like Agent was actually willing to take risks on Blood Covenant, which is why he was able to establish a bit of a lead at the beginning. He's like, okay, I'm happy to do some damage. Even if I'm not hitting everything, I'm going in there, I'm poking, I'm prodding, I'm being active about the situation. In Blood Run, he went back to making those mistakes he made against Rafa, except he was doing it on the map that he's so well known for.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Dahang take a few notes there and not get hit by the tribal on Blood Run. But like you said, Blood Covenant, a very aim-heavy map, like you mentioned, Flea. And there were so many fights where neither player was hitting very much.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, how long is this going to go on? Like, somebody do something.
But we also saw, I think, the rails maybe weren't there, but the rockets were unbelievable. Those defensive rockets were really the story of Blood Covenant. The survival that was just somehow prolonged all the time. And this kill from Agent was just unbelievable. You thought Dahang was going to easily secure that one in overtime, but no.
Nope.
That was great. That was one of the best parts for Agent, I thought, just combat-wise.
And those rockets, they came from both players, so it wasn't just one player putting out these defensive rockets. You saw it by Dahang, you saw it by Agent. It was just such a solid defensive display by both of them. But in the end, Dahang did get the upper hand. Oh, That bounce.
That
Look
was
at
lovely.
Dahang's shake. He is happy. He is confident after that one. Some great clips from this game.
And in Blood Covenant, I mean, going a full 5 rounds again to Hang, that's no slouch. And going almost 10 minutes in a round, yeah, fantastic Dire Orb against Dahang in Blood Run. Agent's definitely a guy to look at. He's just playing Beastie today, and being the agent that he is, he's got a license to ill.
Oh, please.
I didn't think he would get it. I had no hope at all whatsoever. But we are going to be waving a goodbye to Agent, but I really look forward to seeing more of his action in lands in the future. But right now, in the present tense, we've got Dahang. Tim, are you with us?
I'm with you guys.
Hey, how we doing? And congratulations.
Thanks, I'm doing well, and yeah, I'm glad it's all over. Nothing to worry about for the rest of the day.
Yeah, what are
And,
your plans for the rest of the day, by the way?
Probably just watch, the rest of the matches and focus on getting a good night of sleep, really.
Do you think everybody was able to get a little bit of that last night? How much are you kind of factoring in the biological factor into this tournament?
I mean, I can only speak for myself, and I woke up really early at like 3:30, but thankfully the games were pretty early as well. So if I had to play really late, like 5, 6 p.m. local time, it would definitely be a problem.
Tactical scheduling.
Yeah.
So let's walk through those maps a little bit there. We saw 2 fantastic maps, both of them bloody. On Blood Covey, there was a lot of rails back and forth. Did you feel pretty comfortable about the kind of the champion interplay there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the map is pretty straightforward based on the bans we had too. Like, so no nicks on that map. It's a lot of cat and mouse, and it's pretty straightforward. It's a matter of hitting your rails and keeping, good position. And I thought, it's tough to just play kind of like the corner game the way on Blood Covenant as you can on Blood Run. So I thought that might work in my favor. That's why I picked it.
Did you ever have any doubts on Blood Covenant? Because I thought there was a map that you were kind of going to secure a lot more easily than that. And we know that Agent is really well known for his Blood Run. Did you ever think that actually if I lose this map, this could be really difficult for me?
Yeah, I felt Blood Covenant was really important to secure the win for because I thought Blood Run was his better map. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Just to follow on to that, did it feel like Agent was frustrated in map 2 because he really had difficulty going against your control?
Not really. I think he played well considering he was out of control. It was just like particularly that last round, I kept toteming up, the teleport exit. So, and he knew that. So he was playing the patient game, constantly getting sight back to react to what I'm doing. But eventually I was able to, force him into a totem and into a bad fight.
What's going through your head as you're getting into some of these like 10-minute rounds? Like about like the 3rd minute of overtime, you've got to be thinking something's got to change here.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to keep plugging away, keep the control up, and just keep trying to starve him for resources. And eventually, you'll hit like a nice rocket to open it. And it took what I think that was like almost 4 minutes into overtime. I'm not sure, but I finally like dropped down, hit a good rocket, and finally ended it that way.
Yeah, perhaps another question about a specific weapon, and that's the Tribolt. It's something that we have seen a lot coming out of Agent. He's very good at using the weapon, and I think that a lot of people would be interested in hearing your thoughts on how do you deal with that? How do you approach someone who's using a weapon that's so effective on Blood Run and still get away with it?
It's tough. I mean, you just got to be disciplined with where and how often you're peaking for like rail shots in particular, because you can just take like 120-ish damage like in the blink of an eye. So just keeping that in mind and just making the shots difficult, maybe get slightly out of range, things like that.
Okay.
Well, any other questions there, Zoot? You look like you've got some wheels
No, not
turning
at
in your
all. I
head.
mean,
No wheels.
the 2 Americans got through the group,
Yeah.
so I mean, at least half my
haven't
predictions
even-
came
I
true
have
there.
not been bragging about that.
I feel redeemed after my picks from yesterday, putting the hang against Rafa. I feel better about it now.
I do have a question. Are there any opponents that you're maybe hoping to meet up, or any matchups you're looking forward to, or are you just going to take it as it comes?
I'm just going to take it as it comes, but I will say that I'm glad that, Rafa and I are on the opposite sides of the bracket now by default as we go into top 8, since you can't replay the people from your own group. So, it's a pretty good scenario for me, I think.
Was there a moment where you thought you weren't both going to be getting out of the group?
I definitely didn't think both of us would get out, but I was a little worried about myself, especially after, needing to come back and go 2-0 against Wenger and Agent. I mean, that's not easy at all. So, yeah.
Well, now you get to breathe easy at least for a little bit. Hopefully you get some practice games in as well. So thank you, Dahang, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys.
All right, well, we're going to be getting into the next match here pretty soon, but Group A is closed out. It's a done deal. Group B, I believe, is a done deal as well. And I don't know if we can take a look at maybe the last few results from Group A, just because those have been exciting as well. But in the player area, we've got a lot going on, and yeah, so we're actually still looking at Claus and Cooler coming up here in just a little bit.